Yes, I am from the army, but post leaving the army, I prefer to call myself a storyteller. Storytelling is my forte, and today I am going to tell you a story from the journey of my life. And this story came in, at the fag end, or rather it ended my professional career, moved into civil, and that period of 2 years here and 2 years there was that period of adversity, the biggest adversity that I was hit with, and how it shaped everything for me. And when adversity hits you, you always ask, why me? And when you look back, you always get the answer to the question that kept coming into me at that point in time, why me? Why her? Why me? Today I have that answer. And I'm going to share with you what that answer, why me, was there. Every life is characterized by special moments, special events, which act as thresholds, which act as pivots, around which character, persona, and value system that you endured and that you lived continue to form you, and you become that value system. As I look back in my life, there are many events which I think were totally outstanding. I'm full of stories actually, Army guys are all full of stories, And one day maybe I would love to come back here and give you stories from the army, from my life in the army. But today it is about adversity, personal adversity that I was shaken by. I am Colonel Urvindar. I got commissioned from the National Defence Academy in 1980. When I first donned my uniform, I thought, my goodness, oh my God. That's how I felt about the army. I felt I was in love with my uniform. Why I'm telling you this is because at a point in time when the story comes, I'm going to shed this uniform, and I was devastated. I just loved my country, and I just loved my uniform, and I just loved saluting my national flag. And one day this all gets taken away from me. In 1984, I got married to a wonderful woman. Simple, beautiful looking, simple housewife of those days, whose only passion in life was to play a second fiddle to the soldier, because army officer's wife, she is always the second, She's never number one. Number one is always your uniform. She was ready to play that. And when the army officer's wife plays that second fiddle, you love her more, because she's sacrificing all the time. And she was sacrificing, and everything was going, great guns for me. I had two wonderful children, two sons. Both were academic toppers. Both boys who went on to IITs and IIMs. They came out of that wonderful, wonderful point in time that I was, living in. Everything was, sing song, fairy tale. But fairy tales come to an end. And this fairy tale came to an end. Suddenly, I wish it had come slowly, but it came suddenly like a rock. In 2005, when this wonderful wife of mine was diagnosed with a stage 3 cancer, ovarian cancer, and she was given 6 months, 1 year, they said. It was stage 3B. But thanks to my wonderful army, thanks to the taxpayers' money, they continued to, keep her up and alive for as long as they could. And with each passing day, she was suffering. So was I. There were two sons of mine who were at the competitive edge of their careers, and they were too young. So I kept them away. She and me bore it. And this suffering was so endless. This suffering was so huge that it is so difficult to endure. You see your partner dying every single day, going down. But she was a wonderful girl. And she would still say, wear your uniform, yeah, you look damn good, yeah. Wear your uniform. But a point came, I had to make a choice. The woman or my uniform. So I took premature retirement in 2007 and shifted base to Chandigarh. When I came to Chandigarh, my parents were here. Thank God I came to my parents, because that was also, it is going to be part of the game, game changer in that adversity that's going to play up. And she was going down every single day until she died in 2009, May 21st, 2009 she died. Let me tell you, just to quantify the suffering that we endured, she took 96 chemos, 52 chemos in the last year of her death, one at the rate of one per week. It's not a joke, it's not a joke. And because so much suffering, agony and suffering was happening, of course it would take its toll. But I was a soldier, I decided, I set two goals for myself. One goal, that I'll serve her, and when she goes, she must say, wow, I married a wonderful man. He is not just a kind, good soldier, he was a kind husband too. And I really served her to the best of my abilities. And the second goal I had set for myself was, I will not go down, because I've got two sons and I'm going to keep myself up. I am today 65 years of age and I don't think I've been ever more fit than I am today. But that's now. At that point in time, the toll was so huge, things started happening to me. One of the things that happened to me during that period was, now the story begins here now. I got into I was a tough man. But all tough nuts also crack, So what happened to me was a depressive syndrome came into being. And my eyes I'm still suffering from it. If you come close to me, you will see there are, this water in my eyes all the time. And as she was going, it was that the quantum of water flowing was Ganga Jamuna, Ganga Jamuna, Ganga Jamuna. It would start and then it wouldn't end. And then she died in May 2009. And then the loneliness came in and those memories. See, going through is not difficult. It's the memories of that suffering which kills you, I just could not see anything. I could not drive. I could not eat. I could not sleep. And I became alcoholic. I had to put an end to this, because this is not me. This is not me. So I went to the psychiatrist at the command hospital here in Chandigarh, and he put me on medicine. What medicines do they have? Tranquilizers and sleeping tablets. I would eat them and I would, it's okay, get up, you have to start again. Once it started, it wouldn't end, unless I get back into bed and eat that stupid tablet again. So I said, what do I do? So I used to meet him every Thursday. So in the end, when you're hit by this kind of adversity, is a leveler. Believe you me, it brought me damn onto my knees as it's cracking. So one day I thought, yeah, enough is enough. Let me try my last weapon that I have. And what is the last weapon? Anybody can make a guess? Prayer. Prayer. A helpless man has his ultimate weapon is prayer. So, and it is the most powerful weapon actually, but only, when you get into a helpless state, then only you think of prayers. So I rooted myself on this Thursday. I went in there and I rooted myself to Nada Sahib, and I went and prayed to my Guru, and I said, oh Guru, I have never actually prayed to you. Please help me. I have been brought down on my knees and I can't take it no more. Please end this agony for me, here or there. Finish the damn thing. That I'm ready to die. Finish it. Because I just can't even drive, I went to the command hospital. I went into the waiting room. Now the story begins here. And now I am the single man sitting there. I had this towel in front of my eyes and I heard somebody come in. And I looked up pulled the towel down. I looked at him and I saw an old man sitting there. Old man had come in. He was about 75 years of age, wrinkled old man. And he was sitting there. He looked at me. After 2 minutes, he asked me, Beta, क्या हो गया तुमको? क्या problem है? I was so sick of answering this problem ना. किस को story सुनाऊंगा ना? दुख वाली story किस को सुनाऊंगा? I was so sick of this story. Although I am a storyteller, but this is not a story that you want to tell people, that I have been brought down to my knees. So I just sat there And then this old man came up and he sat next to me on the sofa next to me. And then he put his hand around me. And when he put his hand around me, I felt goosebumps. I felt goosebumps happening to me. I said, it was July end, sir. I think 28th or 29th of July. And I was just wearing a t-shirt. He put his hand around me and I got goosebumps. I looked at him. He said, Beta, what's the problem? Tell me. I may be able to help you. So I told him, this is what happened. He says, I am going to tell you 2.5 things. I have given this name to this story of mine. The story is called 2.5. He says, I am going to tell you 2.5. That's the story about 2.5. He says, now you are weeping so much. I said, I'm not weeping, yaar. He said, but it's weeping. You may not admit, but you are weeping. Your soul is weeping. He says, can your wife see it? I said, I don't know. He said, no, she can't see it. She's gone. She can't see it. He says the first thing, he kept his finger up like this. He says, the first thing that I want to tell you is that crying is the most unique and the most critical weapon that God has given you. Don't waste it. Second thing, it is meant for, he was calling it the ultimate tool of compassion that human beings have. So, second thing, he says, when you cry, crying helps. But remember, crying has not got anything for anybody. You got to get out of this. You got to stop this. You got to stop this crying. And when God gives you a problem, He always gives you a solution first. पहले तुम्हारा solution देता है, फिर तुम्हारे को problem देता है. So look for the solution. Solution is right next to you. And the half thing he said, you can't see a thing. Where will you see the solution? So stop it. So he said, go back and think about this. I will be here next week. I went back home and I was trying to see where is the solution. He was talking about the solution. Where is the solution? I went to my mom and my mom said, Beta, come here to me. And she held my hand and she said, okay, you come and sleep with me in my room with me today. You're not in a great state. So I went and slept with her. And next morning I felt much better. And I kept being with her and being more with her. My mother was my solution. And she helped me, she kissed me. I had never been kissed. I was 50 years old. I had not been kissed by her in 30 years. She kissed me and 2 or 3 days I was much better. And 1 week he said, I'll be here next week. I went next week there. This old man never came. And I looked back the old registers that there was nobody there. That old man had never come in. Now who was that old man? Who was that old man? He was not on the registers. But that old man was there and he did tell me that 2.5 things he did tell me. He cured me. Today I know why me. Why me? Because I got to meet him. He was that mystery man. I was destined to meet him. It was God coming down, descending to help me. That's what happened that day. So, even in your adversity, have faith. Now, what are the few lessons that we are quickly learning out of this? The first thing that you learn out of this is tears are an ultimate tool of compassion. Keep it for the living people. Don't throw it after a man is gone. While the person is, I was thinking, how many times did I cry when she was dying? Maybe not. I was trying to be a brave man, but I should have cried. I should have held back and I should have cried. I was not crying. You cry for a man who is living. Let's cry for people we love, we care for, and hug them. Women are much better than the males. To the males I say, please do it. These tears have got the powers to kill grudges, destroy the attitudes of revenge, you can get pardons out of that. Many, many wonderful things can happen to you. Use tears as an ultimate tool of compassion. The second thing is when God gives you a problem, don't focus on the problem. Look for the solution because He has placed the solution right next to you. That's how nature plays it. Now you will never be able to see the solution if your eyes are bleary and teary. If you got tears and bleary also mean focus. If there is no focus, you are never ever going to find the solution, and you will be a crybaby for the rest of your life, which I am not. It ended for me. Thank you.